Hello everyone, Matt Thompson with you here at Arden Street ahead of the Kangaroos' only Friday night game of the season against the Blues tomorrow night at Etihad Stadium. More on the match in a moment, and also Mark Murphy's fitness test at Visy Park. But first, a story that keeps bubbling along. The West Coast Eagles' controversial tribunal defence of Luke Shuey during the week, where they pinned it on Lindsay Thomas and said that he'd been taking a dive in other incidents during the game, effectively saying that he faked the pain when he got hit in the groin, allegedly, by Shuey. Of course, we know Shuey had that charge downgraded in the end. That was the tribunal ruling. Brad Scott says that the Kangaroos, well, they're not too perturbed by it, but certainly it's a tactic that they wouldn't use. Another leading coach in the competition, though, Damien Hardwick, has also weighed in today. One
thing I do know about West Coast defence is I know John Worsfold well enough to know that he would have had nothing to do with that. So Defence Council use whatever tactics they can to get their players off.
I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I think at the end of the day, you do the crime, you get the time. It's the AFL Tribunal's job to judge all those factors. It's not for the club to bring in character assassination. I didn't like it.
What we'll do is we'll defend Lindsay to the hilt. When we do our boxing, no one wants to fight him. He's the best fighter in the club, so he can take punches, he can throw punches. He's a really resilient person, and we're just wrapped with how he goes about his footy.
Okay, now let's turn our attention to the blockbuster Friday night match between the Blues and the Kangaroos. This game is so important for both sides, and the big question is about Mark Murphy. The cameras were there to watch his fitness test at Visy Park today. So were the fans. He was put through his paces, did seem to have a little bit of difficulty at some points with that shoulder that he had surgery on. There is still a fair bit of doubt about him, it's fair to say. Mark Riley insisting no definitive decision had been made, and the Kangaroos say, well, they're going to prepare to play against Mark Murphy, but they're going to really wait until 90 minutes before the match to know for sure.
It'll just be the physical elements, you know, and he's going through a test now. You guys were filming that, and we'll see. And if there's any doubt or risks, he won't be risked.
One thing's for sure is we'll plan for him to play. And we'll know definitely whether he's going to play 90 minutes before the game.
In the absence of Sean Hampson, Matthew Cruiser will have to carry the bulk of the ruck duties for the Blues, but he will have some backup.
Watson actually went into the ruck last week, but as he told us, there were no stoppages when he went into the ruck, so we've done a bit of a crash course with him this week.
Riley leaving us with a warning and some words of wisdom.
Well, it certainly does give you a bit of emotional nourishment. Watch yourself, boys. It's been a pretty tough couple of months, you know. What have we won, once or twice? So it was a good win, but one bit of rain doesn't break a drought.
There was no sleep-in for Dustin Martin as he arrived at the airport early for the flight to Cairns. Richmond keeping a close eye on the young star as he serves his second match of a club-imposed suspension.
It's a harsh lesson for the young fella, but one that we fully endorse the decision we made. We think, look, short term there's no doubt it's going to have some ramifications, but long term we think it's the desired result we're after. We think it'll be the starting block for him to build his career going forward. It's a real eye-opener for him, and one about preparation that we're not willing to turn a blind eye to. So it's really important he gets the message, and I've got no doubt he will.
The Tigers all too aware of what happened in far north Queensland last year when they were the last team to lose to the Suns. This time they're taking no chances.
But more importantly, we're going to go up early this year. The windy conditions is probably the thing that caught us out most up there, so we'll train over the course of the next 2 days there and make sure we get a gauge of the conditions.
In Darwin, $15 million in government and AFL money is going towards the new Michael Long Learning and Leadership Centre at TIO Stadium.
Firstly, today the dream of the Michael Long Learning and Leadership Centre has become a reality because of the many people who share the same dream. As a proud Territory man, I am immensely proud and humble and grateful for the funding partners for sharing my vision of the future for our young Territorians.
Israel Folau's cousin has caused a stir on Twitter using the Giants Code Switch's account to boast about a new deal with NRL side the Rabbitohs. Of course, it wasn't true.
He got a hold of it last night, so he only told me about 15 minutes after he tweeted it, and it wasn't good, and I sort of tweeted straight after that it wasn't me. So.
But the rumours keep circling. Folau again forced to answer questions about his commitment to the AFL.
No, not at all, mate. I'm definitely going to be at the Giants, and that's for sure. So that's just rumours. Whoever's spreading that, definitely not true. So I'm just worried about my job here at the Giants and trying to move forward.
Is it the greatest game on the planet?
at the moment is, I think.
And while the Eagles are flying high in the West, another is set to be unleashed at the MCG. The stadium again looking to frighten away those pesky Seagulls. And that is a wrap on the footy news this Thursday. All the team news, of course, as it comes through this evening as we prepare for another big weekend of footy. Click back soon.